All right, we are back. Kev, you're not even in the country right now.
I'm not in the country. I'm in Mexico, but it was very important for me to at least talk some Big Brother here. We don't have interesting things around me to look at and observe. I need to dive into Big Brother, even though I'm in Mexico with you, Nick, right now.
Dude.
But I haven't. I was going to tell you, I haven't watched the episode yet. I read the blurb. I'm going to need you to tell me, paint the picture for me. I hear there's a lot of grab ass on this episode here, Nick. There's a ton of grab ass going on.
There's tons, Kev. And real quick, too, the image quality is so different right now, at least on my computer. Like, I'm like HD digital, and you look like BlackBerry 1.0, maybe worse.
I'm in a bunker right now. There's sand dunes I'm in a tiny bunker right now. But hey, I guess bad quality is better than no quality at all, I guess.
It looks like Nokia flip phone 1997. I mean, it's pretty awful. Because do you remember back in the day when you could access the internet, but you didn't want to because you knew it was going to cost $4,000?
Yeah.
And you hit the button, you're like, oh God, my plan's going to explode. Anyways, yes, Kev, you haven't seen the show. I saw the show last night. It's very drama intensive, a lot of grab ass going on. But let's just jump right in, man. Let's just jump right in. I took a bunch of notes, and so these are in chronological order of things that I noticed while I was watching the show. One, the host of the Big Brother show, not Julie, but the voice, the welcome to Big Brother. Yeah. He had one of the best puns I've ever heard ever.
Really?
He said, talking about Victor's eviction, he said, and Victor was evicted. Evictored.
I like that. That's fun right there. I do like it. In the whenever they do the previously, I love the last stupid line before they start doing the intro segments. It's usually Bronte saying something dumb or someone reacting to James, but the combination of whatever they showed with that line, I'm sure it was the way to open the show. They should do it every time.
Evictored. It's just perfect. Bridget. Okay, so there was this little time period, right, where they're talking about what Bridget is her strategy, which is basically no strategy at all. It's
no
just pass it off to Frank, basically. But she says, I don't know what to do because my gameplay is all based around friendship.
Oh my God. What's the deal with friendship? Everybody's throwing around friendship this season. Nick Paul's talking about friendship. Bridget's talking about friendship. I almost called her Brendship. We're going to get terrible friendship puns. What are people doing? You're on Big Brother. What are they doing?
Dude, you can't. Your strategy cannot be based around friendship. I mean, when you have a strategy, it's called social game. If you're in there to build friendship, I think you're on the wrong show. That would be called The Bachelor, right? That's or The Bachelorette. You're trying to build a relationship. You're not trying to build relationships in here. They're all pseudo relationships, and then you evict each other. What?
Yeah, we're not passing out roses here. There's no marriage being proposed afterwards, unless you're in the Brenchel army. Then I guess that could happen. But it's not about friendship. It's about Big Brother. And Nick, I was saying on our show last time that I was looking forward to see if she had any backbone, if she was going to make any of her own decisions. And it looks like, based on what we're seeing, she is just doing Frank's bidding, right?
Dude,
she's not making any of her decisions.
We to precision perfect. We called it 7 days ahead of time. I mean, we knew exactly what was going to happen, and it went down exactly like that. I have another thing to say about sort of in the same category, is that I'm still so surprised that Paul is still in the house. I mean, he's still there. He's still playing the game.
Here's what I'm thinking. I feel like this happens, and you see it with people every season, where if you're put on the block early on, people kind of forget about you, or for some reason, you're like the target that's right in front of people, and they're trying to look past you. So I wonder if Paul, kind of like Johnny Mack last season, and that was a different circumstance. He was kind of always the pawn, but it seems like sometimes they just keep around the person to always put up as cannon fodder, and at some point, if you survive long enough, he might merge into some sort of alliance, and that seems like Paul this season.
That's exactly how I was going to call it. Paul is the guy that he's now building this consistent, you go on the block, right, kind of guy, but he's never actually the target. He's the pseudo target. He's kind of if all else fails, at least we could evict Paul. But then what happens over time is people get addicted to that. And then they're like, you know what? He's always assumed he's going out. And so for that reason, he's kind of always been over here. maybe since I haven't ruffled all these feathers, I've ruffled all these feathers, maybe I could actually explore this because he's the perfect like shield, right? And it's the easiest way for me to be like, look, join our alliance. We're always going to keep you safe because every week we're basically going to say we're going to evict you, but we're not going to evict you. Well, I think it's a strategy. I think it can work.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing. Like, the show's all about opportunities, right? So you're given opportunities to make alliances. You're given opportunities to build allegiances. If you're on the block, you're given a lot of opportunities because that person who's HOH doesn't want to piss anyone off. So they're going to come to you if you're in the Paul role, and they're going to potentially ask you to throw a comp, which is an opportunity to build some trust. They're going to ask you maybe to do something in the house. So you slowly have these opportunities to be able to build allegiances, and that could be what Paul is doing. So that may work for him. But I will tell you, Nick, I'm disappointed in Frank, and I would like for you, if you could, maybe show me on the doll over there if you have some sort of stuffed animal, but show me how he grabbed Davon. Was it, show me on the Barbie or the teddy bear? Was it like a cupping? Was it a grazing? Like what was the butt grab?
So I didn't research this too hard on the internet. It's just from the show, right? I only watched the show, and the show actually didn't even show it. You didn't even see it. All you did is you heard it, and then you saw the reaction. But Kev, this particular show, this particular episode 9, was all about the Frank versus Davon. The whole episode starts in the beginning with her crying, having a little meltdown. Then it shows Frank being a little too cocky and being really defensive. And then it's just clashing, right? But CBS has been known to do this. Anytime that there's anything in the news, they know how to riff really well. And there's a crisis going on right now in the news between culture clash and racism, and it's just out of control. And so CBS, they kind of know, how to push all the hot buttons. Do you know what I mean? And so of all the stories that were happening in the house, I don't think that CBS chose this story by chance. I'm pretty sure that this is the one that they were targeting.
Interesting. That's an interesting point by you. The edit for both. Did the edit make Frank out to be this bad dude, or did they balance out the edit? What was kind of the story presented to the viewer?
The edit was about 60-40. So it did show Frank as kind of stepping over the boundaries for sure. It definitely showed Davon in a hysteria kind of thing and people wanting to gang up. It was also a crossover between strategy and I don't really like you now, so now I'm coming after you. There was a whole apology that went down. And so you kind of got a little bit of both, but it definitely leaned on the fact that people are getting a little about Frank, they're you're crossing the line, and I'm telling you, what may be okay for him in his world is not okay for what these people are in their world. And it's just, you're getting a clash. It's definitely clashing.
Man, I was talking Frank's game up earlier, and now he's just controlling HOHs. He's grabbing ass in the house. Nick, I don't know why I pledge my support behind his game. It looks like he could potentially be on his way out. It sounds like he's making a lot of enemies here.
So, dude, I said the same thing because I watched the show. I haven't been on the live feeds yet. Truthfully, I haven't. I would love to watch them all day long, but really busy. So I tweeted out yesterday, man, Frank is killing it. I got so much backlash on Twitter.
Really?
People just came after me. They're like, what he's doing in the house, you cannot support him. I'm look, he's not a political candidate. I'm not endorsing his awful actions, however you slice it. I just think if you watch the show, right, and then you were to step away from the show and be dude, he's doing a really good job. He controlled the HOH, he controlled the BB roadkill, which I don't know if you saw, but he's really operating the house. Now, people are coming after him, but in history past of Big Brother, what tends to happen is when people have an emotional amount to get you, that doesn't really tend to last very long, right? It'll go a couple weeks, and then they'll realize that because they committed to the whole house, that they're emotionally out to get them. What a better person to actually work with, right? That's your ace in the hole.
Potentially. I do think that a lot of times that best spot to be is kind of the on-deck circle, to be that number 2 to someone's number 1, to be the Derek to the Cody. So you're kind of able to hide behind somebody. I thought he was doing a really good job early on of kind of hiding behind Paulie a bit and kind of standing in the shadows. I feel like he's really come to the foreground I wonder if this is going to now make him a target by a number of different people. Day seems to be playing a pretty strong game, I think, and have a lot of people rallying support to her. She definitely has Z in there as well. Tiffany, if she survives in the house, will certainly be gunning for Frank. I feel like he's slowly, and maybe much more quickly this last week, making a lot of enemies in the house, and I'm concerned about his longevity in the game.
This happened in BB14, so he was with the team. He was in the team. BB14 and actually 18 are very similar, right? Like they have teams, and like there's a four pack of teams, and the dynamic is kind of the same thing. Sort of happened. He's starting to shine a little more, and now for that reason, he's starting to become more of a target. You said Tiffany, and so we're going to switch gears here a little bit. Okay. And something really interesting this week happened, and Tiffany on air said that James is her kind of guy, that she would go for him.
I thought, Nick, hold on. I thought I read that Natalie and James.
Sorry, Natalie, not Tiffany. Not Tiffany.
I was going to say, I thought maybe there was James is like the playboy in the house for a second, and Frank is trying to grab up all on James too. But it was Natalie, right?
It was Natalie. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Tiffany is on. She's on the block. She's not Tiffany at all.
She may go at James pretty soon. The guy sounds like that he's gradually wearing these ladies down.
Dude, I was shocked. I mean, when Natalie said, "Yeah, James is the kind of guy that I go for," I was like, "Dude, props, dude, absolutely huge, mega props." I don't know what kind of stuff you're pulling in the house, but like that is caliber,
I didn't even know that James was a type. Like I didn't know that like James could even fit into a box of like, that's my type of guy. Like James is not a type of guy. James is James, and there's only one dude like him, which is now. Did anything happen? Did they kiss, or she just said she's interested?
So all we saw on the show was that they had leg overlap.
Whoa!
I know. Big deal, man.
Well, great. Now, Nick, our show right here is now not going to be safe for work, and we're going to have to put parental advisories if we're talking about leg overlaps. That's serious stuff there. The kids, that's all over the high schools and the colleges these days.
It's a big deal, man. One thing you didn't see either is that there was a hashtag. You know how they always have hashtags. They really try to push this Twitter Big Brother overlap. The hashtag for the week was I mean. Literally, I mean to tell you something, hashtag I, then MEAN. And it had to do with Corey's conversation in the bathroom. He just kept saying, I mean. He never actually said anything. It was just kind of I mean, I guess, if I were to say that there should have been a hashtag for this episode, it should have been Frank versus Davon.
Huh. Yeah, over the I mean. I know.
Yes.
Yeah. That's interesting. We'll have to see if this is an ongoing thing. I feel like Corey is like the comic relief, like the unintended comic relief of the summer so far. Talking about Christmas last episode, the I mean hashtag. Who knows what he's got in store for us here, Nick, as he slowly meanders through the house, and he's faded into the background too. He's only providing entertainment for us viewers right now. He's not doing a ton of strategy or anything else, it seems like.
He's kind of like the Shane Meany of Big Brother 14. He's a really good-looking guy. Nicole has also said that he is the best-looking guy she's ever seen in person.
Yeah,
and I want to know what Hayden thinks about that. Maybe we should get him on the show because, I didn't even know they broke up. To my understanding, I thought they were going to get married. I thought they had 6 kids by now. Turns out they're not even together.
We have to put our crack research staff on that. I can't see Nicole without hearing in my head, Hayden, like that the whole entire summer. But yeah, I'm absolutely shocked that Nicole's ready to jump right into a showmance. I mean, we totally saw this coming as well. She's boy crazy, Nick.
Oh, 100%. And you mentioned his name earlier too, Zakia. So it's all about the strategy of just sort of blending into the background, right? It's all the people that you don't hear about that haven't had a storyline yet. She kind of came up a little bit more in this episode, but she's doing a really good job about just being in the background. You know what I mean? Not really ruffling any feathers. The first 5 weeks is all about just keeping your head down. There's no good, real, solid alliance type battles that go back and forth. You know what I mean? That happens as the summer goes on. Right now, it's just about don't get evicted. You know what I mean? Of course, duh. That's obviously the point of the game, but just don't do anything crazy in the first 5 weeks. She's doing a great job at that.
Yeah, I was going to check in to make sure Z was still in the house, but it sounds like that Corey and Z have the right strategy. I mean, if you're Corey, you can just say "I mean" over and over and over again. You're probably not going to be a target. If you're Z and you're just furniture, you're just just standing in the background, you're going to be in the house for a little while longer. So
hashtag Big Brother Lamp. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
that's
exactly.
that should be the new strategy.
Yeah.
If I ever went back on, right? If like the grace of Big Brother gods, if they were like, Nick, we want you to come back on, I would say, and they always interview you in the beginning. And they say, Nick, what is your strategy? And I would say, well, Jeff, I'm going to be the Big Brother lamp, and I'm just gonna exist in the corner somewhere. I don't know. Hopefully, no one knows I'm even there.
And instead of that was it a blue hat? Was it a pink hat? What was the hat that you?
I had a blue hat. It'll be like a blue hat,
right? Instead of that, you just have a nice lampshade instead of your blue hat. You'll be all set.
Solid, dude.
Now, Nick, tell me, based on how things were looking, is it Tiffany's turn to go? What do you think? I didn't see the episode. From what I was reading, it looks like that it may be her week to go. Viewing it, what did you think?
So unless there's some sort of crazy weird twist that happens this week, again, I'm not watching live feeds, so unless something happens, I think it's either Tiffany or Bronte, because Bronte's up there right now. And so she was kind of on the tail end of this, like, we're going to throw this whole team under the bus kind of deal. And so if there can be a good rally, I think it's Tiffany's time. Although I always in the back of my mind know that production likes to cut a little bit ahead to tease you to think that that's actually going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. And let's not forget that Tiffany is Vanessa's sister, and so there's always going to be a push from production to keep her around. So if they had to pull a trigger, maybe like a 24-hour overnight decision change amongst the whole house. Never seen that happen before.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I know I would really miss Bronte's voice if it was her week to go. That would be heartbreaking. And yeah, you mentioned a couple of times, Nick, our shows that we'll be doing all summer, for the viewers out there that maybe are just jumping into this episode, they're spoiler free for our shows. We're reacting to the episodes on CBS. So for our show here, you'll never get any spoilers. We're only giving you our thoughts and our predictions here as we move through the summer.
Absolutely, Kev. And I have a thought that I want to give. So here's something that I haven't understood all summer long. Everyone keeps revealing the fact that they are the BB roadkill. Like how, I just don't understand this. Like I would not tell anyone. The only backlash you could ever get is if someone thought that you were targeting them and they ended up on the block, but then you could easily just be like, just deny it. How could you, you wouldn't lose as much trust points by denying it and them thinking that it was you, as opposed to you telling people, and then they're like, oh man, like he's the actual person. Like, I don't trust him now because he has this power. I mean, I just don't understand it. I would never tell anybody if I had that power, ever.
I think I would lean towards you as well. And not telling people gives you because information on that show is power, right? So the more information you have that somebody else doesn't have, the more powerful you are, and the more that you're able to use that information to potentially create chaos in the house. So I do agree. You have to be very selective, and anything that somebody else doesn't know, I feel like is almost always an advantage. So to share that with people, it does seem like, with Vic, he's like, oh, everybody, I won. Who wants to know? Oh, Julie, I won America. Yeah, just telling everybody. Yeah, keep it to yourself. Be more strategic about how you reveal that. I'm totally with you, Nick.
Yeah. And so, Kev, the only other announcement that I got is that we were supposed to shoot with Vanessa on Sunday, but she had to work, so we couldn't do it. So we're going to do a show with her on Tuesday. We're going to talk about all things, how she feels about her sister being in the house, what she thinks of this season in general. It's going to be a good episode. Hopefully, Kev, if the Wi-Fi is available down in Mexico, you can join us.
I sure hope I will be there to join with Vanessa. If not, I hope I can get all of this Big Brother information that I've collected from you through customs back to the United States so we can do another show very soon. But yes, I hope I'll be there talking to Vanessa. I'm very excited to see what happens this week. They
will definitely ask you at the border how many hours you spent talking about Big Brother, and there is a threshold.
I'm fully aware that on the customs form, I'm going to have to reveal a lot of Big Brother information, but hopefully they don't get mad about spoilers. I don't know. So I hope I'll make it back, Nick, is what I'm
they watch the feeds. They watch the feeds.
I'm sure they're feeders at the border. It didn't seem like they were too strict on what was coming in and out of there. They seemed like that they were talking more and more. I could have sworn I heard BB Roadkill once or twice there at Custom.
I'm sure of it. Kev, where can we find you?
I'm at Kev Soup on the Twitter and on the internet machine. I am kevsoup.com. As always, thank you all so much for watching. We'll be here every week doing shows.
Absolutely. I'm at Nick Uhas on Twitter. This is actually the second channel, the second YouTube channel. I have a original YouTube channel. It's called Nickopedia. If you guys like science, if you guys like learning stuff, if you like just a lot of like lifestyle stuff that has to do with like learning and high energy and really cool stuff, like why do I hate the sound of chewing? You can find all of those videos on the original channel. And we'll continue to do Big Brother recaps and talking about Big Brother because we love this. This is like a huge part of our summer. We have a new show coming up and we're going to film with Vanessa on Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching and we will see you very shortly.